Hello and welcome to the new trainer challenge. We're going to take a look today at Whitney, as you voted for her in the poll in the community tab. If you want another poll, if you don't want another video, please leave a like on the video. Let's hit 600 likes and I'm going to release a poll in the community tab for YouTube. Last time 500 likes was pretty easily achieved, so let's go for 600 this time around. Helps out to spread the content. So let's take a look what we can do with Whitney here, what team we're going to run. Of course, we always have to use the signature Pokemon, which is for Whitney, of course, the Miltank. Recently getting buffed. I would have loved to use Tackle, but because it's Whitney, we have to use Rollout. Of course, it would be definitely not a Whitney challenge without Rollout Miltank, so that's what we're gonna go for. Otherwise, we have problems beating Steel types. I could use Ursaring, but I'm going to opt to go for a different Pokemon, which is going to be the Girafarig, which they had in the second generation as well already, which is really cool. And also as an answer for fighting type Pokemon, because you're going to encounter those definitely as well. We need a Charmer and we're gonna go for Wigglytuff there, as you also have a better matchup against Sableye. Could have also went for Clefable, but Wigglytuff seems solid. Let's go right into the gameplay. Going now into the battles, of course we're going to have here our Girafarig in the lead, our best answer for Steel type Pokemon. We have a very good start here already with the Sableye as a save swap here, because we will be able to get into our Wigglytuff, which has to still take a return, especially after the debuff of Charm. You don't do enough damage to knock out the Sableye in time, sadly, even if you swap out perfectly. But here we will see the opponent going into their Warren again. They have to take one play rough and we can go back later on into our Girafarig. It's a little bit tricky with this team. This team is in general definitely by far the worst team I've played so far for this challenge, but I mean, those are also teams we have to go through here. We're going to have the Miltank here coming in, going to take this Icicle Spear, having access to Rollout and Body Slam, going to be pretty nice, but it's way bulkier than our Girafarig, which is of course also Shadow, so we at least do some kind of damage, especially with Double Kick plus the Psychic Fangs. Will be pretty decent for that regard. We're going to actually catch the move here, which we're going to shield up. I thought we would get the knockout before. But now we see a Runerigas coming in, which you can just spam those Psychic Fangs. Runerigas only has moves that really don't do damage to me here, so it's actually a very good matchup for me. While we are Psychic type, we are also resisting the damage there from the opponent, because they're part normal type as well, of course. And we will see here that we can go ahead and go for another Psychic Fang. It's going to, I think I've actually knocked them out. I don't think they're actually going to play this anymore. No, they're actually going to shield, never mind. We can clear the debuff here, we can go into our Miltank. They cannot even hit our Miltank either here, so that's going to be a very easy one. Going for the Body Slammer, winning the first game here, but also I did 4 sets with this team, so I put in the better games with it. There were a ton of games where I couldn't do anything at all, where we completely got hardwalled. It's a very bad team. Like, not gonna lie, can't really say that this is a team that I would recommend you to run. It's definitely difficult to play. In 4 sets, I had one positive set with this team. That was a 3-2, and that's basically it. So just to say here in comparison how that actually went, didn't really went too well, but we're still going to have some decent wins here in this gameplay, which is going to be nice. But yeah, again, you cannot really play with this team because there are so many Steel types currently around. Also, one thing, I don't think I should have went for Ice Beam here on the Miltank in hindsight. I thought maybe we will be able to get out the Altaria, and it would be way better for that Pokemon. But actually, Thunderbolt would have been better against other Steel types like Registeel. But also then again, you could say, okay, Ice Beam is at least better against Galarian Stunfisk, which might be a little bit more common. So maybe Ice Beam was also pretty decent, not gonna lie. We see the opponent's Treven coming back in here. We're going to go into our Wigglytuff. Wigglytuff will be able to take on the Shadow Claw, but Seed Bomb still going to be neutral. Seed Bomb still going to do some nice damage against me here. We're going to let the moves go through as we see the Noctowl coming in. We can go for one Thunderbolt here, I think, soon. Thunderbolt should do some pretty decent damage here. We are Shadow. We're going to do a ton of damage with that move for sure. And I think I can just one-shot them as soon as I want to. It actually doesn't one-shot them, but two-shots them. And we can farm them down here anyway. And we can just go ahead and go for some Psychic Fangs. This should seal the deal, because now I can just keep my shield here alive for the Wigglytuff as well. I can just get the debuff on the opponent, and yeah, they're going to forfeit here basically anyway, not shielding the next one. Next game against Amato Galde here, a streamer as well. We're going to see something that I don't want to see. We see a Medicham against us. We saw Frost in the lead where we had nothing really against it either. So this is not looking too good so far. We will be able to go for another Body Slam here, going to do some pretty decent damage. And we actually should be able to reach another one unless they go for one Psychic here. They're gonna go for one Ice Punch. I think I get to another one here still. They're gonna get them low, and I can farm them hopefully down with our Girafarig, because Girafarig cannot do anything against the Frosters. Like, you can go for Psychic Fangs, but your fast move does nothing. Psychic Fangs in general is a pretty weak move, it just gets the debuff. They have Dynamic Punch as well, which is horrible, because without Dynamic Punch I would have survived this all. I'm just going to let this move go through, it doesn't really help me anymore, and I'm just going to hope that they have something weak against me in the back here. Sadly, again, Wigglytuff is one of the Pokemon that also got nerfed recently with the Charm nerf there from 1 damage. It's kind of annoying because you can see here as well, like I would have done way more damage compared to what we used to, and as well as you're going to see here, my opponent going to have, as far as I know, a Sableye in the back. And I think back in the day you were able to knock them out before they can get to 1 return, but like this, definitely you're not able to. They just barely get there in time, but there's going to be a good game there. And while Wigglytuff did put in some work, it was not enough to win this game for sure. Next game, we're going to see the Deoxys against us. Kind of horrible again, Deoxys is going to be a tricky one to beat here as well. We can go for 1 Thunderbolt at least straight away. Should do around like 60% I would guess. Actually around 50% more, which is fine. We will be able to take the next move here as well. We're going to actually shield up because I expected them to go actually for 1 Psychic move there, for 1 Psycho boost there, which would have debuffed themselves afterwards, but no, they're going to go ahead and go into their Umbreon now, which is a Pokemon that I don't really want to face here because I want to face it against my Wigglytuff. I'm going to try to get out of this matchup with a little bit of energy left as well. They're going to most likely throw that charge move soon. I'm actually going to throw mine now and try to swap out already into my Wigglytuff, which I hopefully can do. I can on the charge move here as well, which is amazing. As this foul play is resisted, we will be able to charm them down here. They're going to swap out into a Walrein. It's going to be a tough one to still win this here. We can definitely take 1 move though, unless it's going to be an Earthquake. We will see. Is it an Earthquake? It's an Icicle Spear. I can go for 1 play rock, but no, they actually still going to get to another move in time. Going to no-shield this because I kind of need the shield and I can go into my Girafarig now, which doesn't really have energy stored sadly, but they can go for 1 Psychic Fang here. This will do enough damage to knock them out if they would have let me, but they're going to shield this move up. I can go ahead, go into my Miltank, take the move, can go for 1 charge move here onto the Umbreon, which is actually okay for me. But this is going to be a weird one if we can actually still win this. That would be cool, but they can still get to a move here. Nah, there's no way. There's sadly no way that we can win this. The Walrein has a move stored and we can farm them down here, but like this Pokemon... Oh, they're actually going to go into the Deoxys anyway. Yeah, this is nothing that we can really win here. Very difficult to play. Very not really a good one there. We see next game coming up. Going to be Girafarig against Trevenant here. Trevenant going to be a very decent one to face with this team. And now we see the Regisaur coming in, and now they realize that we have a fighting type fast move. And now they realize that the Thunderbolt going to do a ton of damage. And now they think I'm just going to forfeit here. So that was at least a fast game because my opponent completely screwed up. Good job there. Next game, Empoleon lead. We have to stay in here because we have our fast move that is super effective. We see a Pelipper coming in. We try to go for the Thunderbolt or for the bait here. Maybe I should have went for the Thunderbolt. Let's see. We will get no shield. This is so sad. If I just went for the Thunderbolt, I would have just completely annihilated them. But like this, I'm going to shield this move up because it would most likely be the Hurricane. It was the Hurricane. I can go ahead and go for 1 Body Slam after the debuff. This should do enough damage to knock them out. And we see the Empoleon coming back in. This is seemingly to be a very bad matchup here, but I think that Miltank actually can still do a nice amount of damage here just with Body Slam alone. Body Slam is just stab move that is very strong. You see, like, the opponent doesn't really have as much defense anyway. Empoleon is not really the bulkiest Pokemon. Has one of the best defensive typings, but sadly in terms of the actual bulk it has, it's sadly not the best Pokemon there. Actually, is there a different Water and Steel type Pokemon compared to like Empoleon, or is it like the only Water and Steel type Pokemon? Because I feel like Water and Steel would be such a good defensive typing for the current meta as well. We see the Altaria here. I should have swapped out earlier. I shouldn't have thrown my charge move at all. I'm still going into another charge move here, which is going to be most likely the Moonblast. As they're going to get us low, we can farm them down here, and we still have to deal with the Empoleon, but I think we can actually win this game. Yeah, we can just charm them all the way down. Goodbye Empoleon there. As we can go into the next game, Altaria in the lead. We're going to swap out immediately here into our Miltank, which has access to the move Ice Beam. But of course, we're going to get out the Medicham, so they're already double weak to my Charmeleon, which would have been cool to get into that one there. But hopefully we can realign later, but they're going to be able to get into their next Pokemon again, like into the Altaria against my Girafarig here. So like it's most likely going to be a little bit difficult to align, but maybe that triple weak to Charm we have to see later. We will go into our Girafarig trying to farm them all the way down. Hopefully this time around they don't run Dynamic Punch against me. They run Power Punch, which is fine for me. I will be able to let this next move go through, which is going to be the Ice Punch again here. I'm going to swap into my Wigglytuff and hope that they're double weak to me and they have a Lantern in the back, which basically tells me already that I'm going to lose this game. I don't think there's a way for me to win this, especially after the debuff of Charm. It really hurts those Pokemon. I feel like that they're not really really usable, to be fair. I really think that Charmers have some problems right now in this current meta. I feel like the Charm nerf really hurt them a lot more than I expected, and yeah. The thing is, yeah, I already made a video about Shadow Granbull. There, it doesn't really affect too much because Shadow Granbull still does so much damage thanks to the extra damage from the Shadow bonus. But like normal Charmers feel really stale right now, where also more people are running Powder Snow Ninetales right now because it feels like the better move. Speaking of Ninetales, I didn't know about this, and it was actually a Powder Snow Ninetales. This is hilarious because I literally had no idea that we're going to face a Powder Snow Ninetales while just talking about it. Very cool. That was like insane coincidence, but we're actually going to get the move caught on their Trevenant, which is okay for me. I have my Ice Beam, of course, for them. But what a day that we, of course, encounter a Powder Snow Ninetales immediately when we talk about it. I guess that's the algorithm, right? We will be able to go for the Ice Beam here. They're going to shield this move up. They can go ahead and shield it another time if you want to, but I still will be able to knock them out here. Good game there. We see the Ninetales coming back in here with Powder Snow, and we will see the Weather Ball coming in here. I'm going to swap out because I kind of want to keep the other one alive a little bit later for maybe a Sack Swap or something like this, so we'll be able to take one move there. They get to the move so fast with Powder Snow. Powder Snow is such a strong fast move here, as we can go ahead and go for one Psychic Fangs. Maybe they're going to shield this move up, let's see. They do not, and I would be able to farm them down, but we see the Swampert coming in, allowing us to go for another Psychic Fangs. Psychic Fangs will allow us to debuff the opponent, and they're actually going to let the move go through, which you know already. Going to be amazing for my Charmer in the back, especially as we can hit another one. Gonna get the shield, gonna get also the CMP tie here, which is going to be amazing as we can go into our Charmer. Farm them down. They're going to go for one Hydro Cannon. I can just shield this move up and farm down the opponent's team here. Good game there. They're going to forfeit here as well. So going into the next game here, we're going to see Girafarig against a Bummer Snow. Very decent lead for me is they might have some Ghost types in the back. It's very common to use Ghost types together with a Bummer Snow, as we can go ahead and go for one Psychic Fangs, doing some massive damage against them as well. That would land, but we see that they're going to shield up the move. I can go ahead and go for another Psychic Fangs in time here, I think, before they get to the next one. Exactly, it's going to be a CMP tie. If they want to shield it, I can farm them down. If they don't want to shield it, I will be able to just go ahead and knock them out. In comes, let's see, we see a Fighting type coming in. With the Machamp, we can hit a one charge move here still. Girafarig, definitely cool Pokemon to use right now. This Pokemon looks like so much fun. It's a very spicy Pokemon. Like, it's not something that I would like recommend to really climb with, but it's like a Pokemon that if you have it in the right matchup, it's a lot of fun to play. What is not a lot of fun is the matchup of Miltank against the Swampert here, because yes, you will be able to go for a neutral Body Slam, which will two-shot them, but no, you won't be able to reach 2 in time, because they're going to be able to hit 2 Hydro Cannons against you, which will knock you out. So it's going to be a tough one to still win. Let's see, we can try to farm them all the way down. We're gonna get hit by another charge move here. It's going to be basically impossible, I think, to win this still. Getting the fast move farm down here as we see the Machamp coming in, and they can get stalled to a move, which I expected here. So good game to the opponent, very close one there, but very well played as well. Coming to the next game here, we see Girafarig against Lickitung. Pretty neutral, to be fair. I feel like that I should stay in for a little bit, go for one Psychic Fangs, maybe and swap out. Okay, I don't even go for the Psychic Fangs, I just swap out here, and we see the Obstacle coming in, which is not ideal at all. It's going to be an interesting one, actually, because we are very bulky. We're still going to be able to take some hits here, and we can dash out some hits as well with the Body Slam. As you can see, we're going to get them low. They're going to have to throw at least one, like 2 moves actually against me. Night Slash even doesn't knock me out here. And I think this, if this is a Night Slash as well, they won't knock me out either. It's a cross chop, it still does knock me out then here, I guess, and we can farm them down with our Wigglytuff. Let's see what's coming in. We're going to see the Lickitung coming back in again. Should have swapped out most likely after this next move. I shouldn't have shielded this one, I should have just swapped out after this next move. It doesn't really help me here too much to shield everything. They're most likely going to be weak against me in the back, against my Wigglytuff, otherwise they wouldn't go into their Lickitung here, but it doesn't really look like the best decision that I'm doing here either. Should have definitely swapped out already, went into my into my Girafarig here and had a better time. We see actually Emperors in the back, which is interesting that they went to that thing then instead, but Emperors will take some defense drops here, which is cool. We can go for another charge move here. Let's see what we can do with that. We're gonna get another defense drop now, and if we can hit another one, we will be able to win this game, I think, as we're going to shield up the move from the opponent. Brutal Swing come through. We can go for the Psychic Fangs on the CMP tie here, winning that one as well, and knocking out the opponent's Emperors. Very, very nice there, as we will be able to win this game here as well. Good game there. Next opponent we'll see Stunfisk gonna lead. Horrible lead for us, of course. Stunfisk is not what I want to face. I can go for my Psychic Fangs basically straight away. But I'm actually going to overform a little bit here, which I guess is not too bad either. Psychic Fangs come through. I'm gonna get the shield. This is the amazing thing about this. I don't think we would have had a move that would have hit the Galarian Stunfisk at all with the Girafarig, so interesting that they're going to shield this move up. We will be able to go ahead and take this Earthquake coming in from the opponent though. And we see the Noctowl coming in into our Ice Beam here, which will be amazing because we will be able to at least get them to half of its health. We can try to go for another one. Do we survive this move? I'm not sure about this. We could still survive it, but we sadly don't survive it. Gonna go into the Wigglytuff. We can at least farm them all the way down here. They're gonna get to one more move, of course. But this is going to be a close one to still win. Let's see. We will be able to farm them all the way down. They're gonna go back into their Galarian Stunfisk most likely, as I'm going to swap out immediately. We can go for these Psychic Fangs as well, trying to debuff the opponent, trying to get some more damage with our fast move especially, but we're going to see the Sableye coming in, which basically seals the deal here. There's not a lot that I can do about this matchup anymore. I will be able to get them pretty low, but they have 2 moves stored now, and they have a Galarian Stunfisk against a Wigglytuff. This final game, sadly, going to be way worse, but yeah. Let's go over also to the ranking for the challenges. This is going to be definitely on the lowest tier. This was nearly impossible to really get good wins here. Of course, you saw some good wins here because we had 20 games to play, but yeah, I wouldn't really recommend this challenge to you. It's very difficult to beat any steel types. The Pokemon itself are not really that strong. So yeah, let me know in the comment section which trainer you want to see next, and I hope I see you in the next video, and leave a like if you haven't already. Bye!